All right, Schlockmeister fans, by request, we're going to watch something called The Bloody Pit of Horror. It's on this The Dead Walk collection. I actually have this on another collection as well, but we're going to watch it off of this one, requested by Tanya. Let's check it out. The Fate of the Crimson Executioner.
On this 5th day of December in the year of our Lord, 1648, by virtue of the power vested in us by our noble sovereign, this tribunal hereby sentences you, the Crimson Executioner, to death. You'll never kill me. Overlock. I'll return and be avenged. Turn around. Fools. All of you. I am the Crimson Executioner.
So they kill the Crimson Executioner inside the Iron Maiden. And they seal him up there for all eternity. So our film starts with a bunch of people arriving at a castle. They're photographers, and they're going to take some sexy pictures of women in gothic settings.
This will look good.
Come on, Nancy. Gosh, I'm stiff from that long ride.
It's made to order. Yeah.
Well, no one answers the door at the castle, so they send this guy to climb up some vines to break into the place.
Yeah, you're right. 3 years for unlawful breaking and entering.
Sure enough, he gets them inside.
Why does he play these childish jokes all the time? Raoul. Raoul, take off that silly costume.
There's not a trace of
But they're not alone.
Boy, what are you doing here?
I'm very sorry. Nobody answered the doorbell, and we thought the castle was empty. Could we speak to the owner? I'd like a word with him about a business matter. Could you take us to him?
Who told you to stay where you were?
The owner
We
wants
took
him to
the
go.
liberty of coming in here, only because no one answered our knocking at the door.
I don't like intrusion. I insist that you leave my castle immediately.
Could you make just one exception? We've been on the road.
He has a change of heart,
Perhaps I
though.
was a little too hasty, Mr. Parks. I'm not usually so inhospitable. I realize you must all be very tired. You see, I don't usually receive people. You can stay here overnight.
There are some rules, though.
Don't go near the dungeons. They're absolutely out of bounds for everybody.
Okay, we won't. Get moving, Dermot.
No dungeons. So the first thing they do is go down into the dungeons.
You'll wake up the ghosts. Come on. This way.
And they stumble upon the crypt of the Crimson Executioner. Some castle dungeon slapstick for you. Is it just me, or is the soundtrack skipping? So they set up a photo op on one of the dungeon torture devices, and Perry got killed. Oh no. Oops. The girls want to leave after the guy died, but this guy's got to bribe him to stay.
Chance to see it.
Harry would have known what I meant.
Yeah, but he's dead, and I want to go on living.
I'll double your salary.
My life's worth more than that.
Triple it.
Okay.
This couple skipped off for some lovemaking time, only to be interrupted by the Crimson Executioner. Who ends up killing both of them. The owner tells a
When they
story
sealed
about
up
the
his
Crimson
tomb,
Executioner.
Executioner swore that he would avenge himself. He was a man of extraordinary physical strength. Obsessed by an ideal of purity. For centuries he was entombed. They desecrated your world of beauty with their sordidness. The day of the Crimson Executioner has now come.
These guys stumble upon Susie, the woman who was making love down below in the basement dungeon. She got the Crimson Executioner treatment.
What's your portrait
Edith
doing
finds a
here?
photo of herself.
Then you do know the owner.
Yes, Travis and I were engaged. Travis Anderson.
Isn't he the actor who disappeared several years ago?
Yes, he used to be a muscle man in costume films. It all happened so suddenly, so unexpectedly.
Then this happens.
Don't try to get any close to me, you'll get killed. There's no escape for me, I know it. You must save yourself while there's still a chance.
Did she mention a spider?
It has poison in its claws. I'll be killed the moment it reaches me.
Hell of a spider, isn't it? Rick tries to worm his way underneath the web to reach her, but apparently the spider got her first. Yes, that's a spider. And I don't even know if it touched her, but she's dead. Too late, Rick. This guy was going to get help, but I don't know what happened to him, but he's dead, driving a car in circles. Edith got separated from Rick, and Rick gets knocked out. Travis and Edith meet.
You were the murderer. Now I know it, Travis. How could you? You're a monster! No!
By weakness.
The plan.
The Crimson Executioner. He despised your world. As passionately as I do. Look at him. Look at him. His magnificent body was preserved intact through all these centuries undisturbed. His spirit lives in me.
So he puts two of the ladies on this spinny thing, and he has some blades coming out, which slowly starts to rip off their clothes. Rick was placed on a bed that has some spikes coming down on it, but he was able to escape just in time. Our hero. This woman has cold water being poured on her. Oh, the horror. This woman is being stretched out on a rack.
You sinner!
Rick is battling the helper of the Travis, the castle owner, aka the new Crimson Executioner. But Rick wins this battle. Then the magazine owner guy in charge of everything is burned to death.
Don't let me out!
The chick who was on the rack gets a big chain thrown at her, which kills her. Those chains can be damn dangerous. Edith is taken and put on some sort of big burner.
Let me go! Stop! Let me go! Travis, go!
This chick gets some sort of hot oil or something poured on her back.
No, I beg you, no! What you're doing is insane, Travis!
But we're gonna have a visitor.
Oh my God! The Crimson Executioner!
Is it?
No! Go away! I am the Crimson Executioner!
Nope, it's just Rick. Come to save the day.
Kill him, I said!
So a battle ensues. guy.
Watch out, Rick!
And after a brief battle with the Crimson Executioner, he accidentally bumps into some sort of spike poison tip filled doll. And that's the end of our Crimson Executioner.
Has been contaminated. The body of the Crimson Executioner.
It was terrible. Please take me away from this castle. It was a nightmare.
I won't write any more horror stories. The man that said life is stranger than fiction made no mistake.
And they walk off into the sunset. All right, let's talk about The Bloody Pit of Horror. This movie, I have a couple of DVD compilations. One is this thing called the Dead Walk Collection, which has 10 public domain films in it. The other one is the Pure Terror Collection, which I also have, which I believe I have 50 movies on. I got it on both. Now, on this one, it runs like an hour and 22 minutes. The one on the other one I have actually runs an hour and 13 minutes, 9 minutes shorter than this one, I should say. The picture quality is better on that one, though, but I decided to watch this one since this one was longer, so whatever, right? So anyway, the movie itself, it's ridiculous, of course. It's a 1965 movie starring Mickey Hargitay. He was married to Jane Mansfield for a while. He made this movie, I believe, shortly, right around the time he divorced, I think. And very muscular guy who was into bodybuilding and such. And it's an Italian-made film. It was shot in some castle. Interestingly, it was shot in the same location as a movie I reviewed a while back called Sister Emmanuel with Laura Gemser in it. Anyway, in this movie, he plays the Crimson Executioner, a guy who was an executioner who was cruel and heartless and was killed for his crimes as an executioner. Ironic. And then he was boarded up for centuries, dead in Iron Maiden. And then the spirit of the Crimson Executioner gets into the body of Mickey Hargitay, and he kills everybody that comes to the castle. It's interesting because there shouldn't have been anybody there anyway. The real only reason they were there was because they kind of broke in to take some pictures and such. So had they not shown up, they wouldn't have been killed, and the Crimson Executioner wouldn't have killed anybody. So, yeah. Anyway, not great acting in this movie. It's very, very silly. It's dubbed from Italian language, I'm assuming. It's just a really silly film. However, actually, I can't say that I wasn't entertained by it because it went along smoothly and... yeah, whatever, right? So anyway, you can get this movie. It's also put out by Something Weird. It's on its own individual DVD, and I know I've seen some better versions of this as well. If you look around on YouTube, the whole film is uploaded, for example, but there are some better looking copies than the ones I have. So it is out there and available, readily available if you want. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's in the public domain. So this was recommended by Tanya. So here you go, Tanya. I watched The Bloody Pit of Horror for you. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this movie. Let me know what you think about it. Leave some comments down below. No nudity in this movie. A little bit of gore, not much. Femi Benusi, I think was her name, was one of the actresses in this movie. I had a movie of hers that I reviewed last year called Strip for Your Killer. Beautiful lady. So check it out. Let me know what you think about it. Leave some comments down below. We'll talk about it. It's called Bloody Pit of Horror. Watch it.